Hello and welcome to Motoring Middle East. I'm Imthishan. Today we're checking out the new 2017 Chevrolet Trailblazer. If you're wondering why we're doing it inside the car, it's about 41 degrees outside and I don't feel like dying. So let's keep it really quick and simple. I'm just going to break it down to the car, pros and cons. So what is the Trailblazer? Well, if you know what the Fortuner is, which is a sort of SUV version of the pretty basic Hilux, that's exactly what the Trailblazer is. The Colorado and Canyon that you get in the US and you get in Dubai actually as commercial vehicles, this is a 7-seat body on top. So it's sort of somewhere between a crossover and a Tahoe, a full-size truck platform. The idea is, of course, that this actually has genuine off-road capability, 7 seats, I mean, in a pinch, and plenty of power. So it can go places a crossover cart. This one's the LTZ, it's the 4-wheel drive version. There's one more trim above it, I think Z71, with extra heavy-duty shocks. This one's about 129,000 dirhams. That's MSRP, so it might be slightly different at your local dealer. Looks-wise, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, I have to be honest. Starting with the Colorado isn't ideal, and it's a bit generic and bland. I'm trying to say, it does what it says on the tin. So it is kind of undramatic, it's pretty slab-sided. The back, of course, is very, very squared off. And this means as a box can carry lots of stuff. It isn't going to wow you in the way that a Fortuner would wow you, but it is pretty ruggedly handsome. Actually, you know what this car reminds me of? It's sort of one of my favorite cars, which is the second generation Prado. It's very, very similar. It's sort of very, very simple. It's kind of brutal and ugly, but it works. It works. The interior is pretty Spartan as well, but we do have a much restyled dash. I drove the first Trailblazer in Thailand many years ago. And this one has an all-new dash. It has MyLink, of course, the 7-inch system. It could be an 8-inch system. Dual-zone climate control, rear AC, full curtain airbags. Is very, very safe. What else has it got? CarPlay, Android Auto. Basically, everything's in the infotainment system. 6-speed auto as usual. 3.6 V6. Somewhere around 280-ish horsepower, 275, and about 270-ish foot-pounds of torque. So pretty much standard for the class. This one also comes with leather because it's a fully trimmed out version. So what's it like on the inside? I'll quickly go back. If you have the rear seats up, space is not great. If you put people in the back seat, it's for kids only affair. But adults can get by for a short period. It's definitely not an 8-seater, but adults can get by for a short piece of time. Rear seats are relatively okay actually. I've been carrying about 7 people in this car. No problems at all. A rear AC struggles a little bit, and there isn't a lot of toys back there. There's no DVD or head-rear entertainment systems. There is rear AC, which helps, and it's pretty basic. You can't control the temperature, only the fan speed. And apart from that, you are SOL when it comes to toys. In front, it's a bit better. Of course, you've got the CarPlay system here. These seats are a little weird. I'm sort of not as comfortable. They're very aggressively styled, but they're not the most comfortable thing in the world sometimes. But I've been driving it 1,000 kilometers in the last 4 days, and I don't really have any backaches or pain, so it's fine. One thing I like about the Trailblazer, visibility is excellent. This is an old school SUV. You've got a very nice high riding position. All around you, visibility is excellent. All the controls are very logical. Everybody's trying to make cars that are so overstyled, overdone, so many gadgets, so many modes, sport, terrain response. This car doesn't have any of that. All you've got is 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and low. Not even a rear locker. I kind of would like a rear locker, but that's it. There's traction control down here. It does have blind spot assist and rear cross traffic alert. So if somebody is trying to pass you as you're backing out of a parking space in the mall, it will alert you. Very handy. Saved my bacon a few times. Other than that, it's all pretty much standard Chevy in here. So you've got single zone climate up front and all the CarPlay gubbins. It's very, very basic, but I like that it's very, very basic. Okay, I've nattled on enough. Let's just quickly go through how it's like to drive. Let's see the pros of it. Pros of Trailblazer. Engine's pretty decent. I mean, it doesn't have that low down torque, but the mid-range is quite nice. So once you get 2,000, 3,000 RPM, it's got all the performance you'll need. What I like about this car as opposed to its predecessor, the handling's really good. It's almost like they've completely revamped this car, which they have. And this has electric steering, but you'd think it was hydraulic steering. It doesn't have a huge amount of feedback through the wheel, but it's nicely weighted. There's not too much dead on center. The car as a whole responds very nicely. I wouldn't quite go as far as saying it's a pleasure to drive. I mean, it is still sort of a trucky crossover, but it's very nicely balanced. Somebody who did the redesign on this car knew what they were doing. I think the Australians, that's my bag sliding around. The Australians did it, so well done. That's the thing, it may not look like much, but actually it drives a lot better than the Japanese competition. I haven't driven the Fortuner Shazada, but he says it's pretty okay. But the Prado in comparison, it just feels so ancient and old, and this feels kind of car-like for a trucky crossover. Other pros, right, we're going over these bumps now, these sand hills. It's fine, absolutely fine. The ride is excellent. It can be a little firm at very high speeds, going sort of 120, 140, it can be a little jouncey, but it's very, very decent, and especially off-road. But on-road, really no complaints actually. It's probably one of the best driving of the bunch. Closest you're going to get to a crossover for a car that actually can do four-wheel drive. The transmission's nice as well. It's pretty unobtrusive. It slurs along. It has manual mode, so you can do that if you're off-road. But overall, it's a very basic package. It's very honest, this car, and that's what I like about it. Stereo's decent. Stereo is very decent actually. It's more than it is any right to be in a car of this price class. Fuel range is okay. I was getting about 600-700 kilometers. Yeah, between 6 and that's fine. Chewing gums right now. 600 kilometers out of a tank at about 120 dirhams. So it's all right. About 8.3 kilometers per liter, and whatever that is in liters per 100. Off-road, surprisingly good as well. I haven't had a chance to really throw around the dunes, but this is a car I feel confident I could take this to Lever. I mean, if you know what you're doing, obviously I'm not eager to break stuff. It'll actually do all the sort of off-roading you want it to do. There's actually plenty of space for your normal oddments. You've got bottle holders here and here. You've got a nice mobile phone holder. I wish there was more you could do here, but you can keep a mobile phone down there. So it has a few oddment space, single USB back here. Should be two USBs really at this point. That's about it. I mean, a nice car. I mean, you can't really be surprised that it's not a Range Rover, but at the same time, if you need to get places, if you need to work, this is a good car. On the con front, this is a bit unfair because it's about 50 degrees out there. The AC is just okay. I think it takes a little longer to cool than I would like, but it does keep you cool. And the rear AC can be a bit noisy when it's at temperature. You need to keep people cool. So the AC performance is okay. It's a little plasticky, so it looks quite handsome and quite modern, but I would like it to be a little bit more sort of touchy-feely. Plastics would be nicer. I know it's made in Thailand. If you haven't over a massive bump there, you are in a Tesla, you crack your spine. It's fine. But I would like it to be a little bit more tactile. I think Chevrolet could up the perceived quality. I mean, it's got this stitch thing, which actually is real leather. But I would like a bit more improvement in the local plastics. One other pro, wind noise, surprisingly minimal. Tire noise, minimal. Actually, it's quite refined. So somebody's worked on their sealing very well. One more con. Where's the sunroof? I'd like a sunroof. I think you should have a sunroof in this class of car. Of course, I know why. The Colorado doesn't have a sunroof, so this won't get a sunroof either. But it'd be nice to have some fresh air in here. But having a light interior is a good thing. So, I mean, a lot of the Japanese at this class with Fortuner, for example, likes these dark interiors. It makes it feel so claustrophobic. Having a light interior, so it's kind of a pro-con. So that's really about it. This is a quick drive of the Trailblazer. I quite like it actually. I sort of started off the review thinking, oh, this is a bit basic, isn't it? But I've really grown to like it. And I'll tell you why. It's because I like the old Prado. The old Prado was a very simple, very basic, very humble car. And this Trailblazer reminds me of that car. It feels like it's built to last. It can go into the weekend in the desert. It can haul your family around. It can haul. I think it could put like a couple of 100 kilos in here and it'll be fine. So, good car. I quite like it. Well, how would it do against the Fortuner? That'd be a good twin test, wouldn't it? Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and all the rest.